case, if you are looking to earn more money and if you want to become financially independent using stock market, this episode is for you. In today's episode, let us chat with Amitabh Vatsya on financial wellness using stock market. This is the Guiding Voice podcast series, the Guiding Voice for a better future. Friends, I'm your host Navin Samala, just a fellow IT professional on a mission to shape the careers and lives of millions across the globe. And through the Guiding Voice, we help and enable successful leaders share their knowledge and wisdom with the world so that our audience will acquire more knowledge by tuning into the Guiding Voice than any other podcast in this space. Thank you so much for joining me. We are extremely pleased to have Amitabh, part of the Guiding Voice journey in shaping the careers and lives of millions across the globe. Amitabh, I'm super excited to have you here and hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice.
Hi Naveen. Hi everyone. Thanks Naveen for giving me opportunity to reach to people around you. Because I am also a broadcaster like you, so I'm very happy to connect with more people. So and luckily you have a good platform, and I wish all the best and success to your journey.
Thank you so much for the best wishes and support. And I have gone through your videos; they are extremely informative, and you have a very good subscriber base. And happy to see that growing. Let's get started, Amitabh. Maybe you can share with my audience or our audience about your career journey and top three things that have helped you so far to be successful in your professional life.
So, I mean, if I go with my career journey, I cannot claim myself to be a real success because it is yet to come, so to say. We are just part of a journey. So, my journey started maybe when I was of 10 years. Then I thought that I should get admitted myself admitted into one of the best schools in the state. So, I qualified for top 100 seats in my state and got into the best residential program into my for my schooling into in the state of Bihar where I belong. So that was a kind of initial success for me, and then from schooling to board and everything, I was quite studious, but probably that probably helped me into my current career, which is into investing. So the way you call yourself IT professional, I love to call myself finance professional. So I got into love with finance during my MBA time. So I did my MBA. Before that, I did BTech from BIT Mesra, then MBA, then worked with industry in a company called Tata Motors, and then I'd worked. Then I did MBA, and I fallen in love with investing and finance. So I pursued it quite wholeheartedly, and that's why I can probably say that I am a kind of a better investor than rest of the people, because my strike rate is better because I focused on investing. So I learned investing. So I can say that what led to to me being a successful investor could be the focus, the hard work, and a mental temperament actually. So basically staying on the course. So that is a skill probably I have. God have been kinder to me that I carry that mental stability in terms of mind temperament. So that helps me as a become a good investor.
Wow. So focus, hard work, and mental temperament have contributed. Wonderful to see your journey. And I'm curious to understand, when did you start your investments?
I started in 2010 actually. So around 12 years old journey it is. But initially I was like a typical retail investor that I was doing MBA, and I thought that since I'm learning balance sheet, so why not to look at listed companies balance sheet and try to what is happening out there. So that was an experiment which went right, and initially I did not get success like everybody else because I was not focused, because I was focused on jobs, so to say. So I was working with banks like ICICI Bank into project financing. So I was looking at balance sheet as a job as well as my investing as well. So that actually helped me and deepen my understanding of stock market.
Mhm. Quite interesting. And moving to the next one, how should somebody start investing in the stock market if I have no idea at all? Like, to be honest, I've not invested even a single rupee so far in the stock market. So, what will be your advice for people like me?
So for people who have not yet invested, I have just one big sentence to say that you are missing on a very important concept of power of compounding. you are a techie by background, so you understand compounding, how compounding interest works. So that the famous story of a person who started filling in the chessboard by a grain. So the whole chessboard filling up, it requires 2 to the power 32 grains. So that is beyond the imagination, that is beyond the possible grains outside in the world actually. So this 2 ka power 32 is so big. So this makes that even a small chessboard you cannot fill with, because it is so huge, because we see exponential growth. So investing is a way to grow exponentially. So it is so if you are working, then you are earning from your time. So you are trading your time with money if you are in a job. But investing is where you are not working, so to say, but time is working in favor of you. So that's why that what bring me into market. Because for starters, basically what they should do is just to be aware of the happening around you. So actually investing may the most important concept is to stay course on your core area of competency. Like you are IT professional, you should start reading Infosys balance sheet, Infosys annual report. They put very interesting annual reports out there. So if you read it, then you get to know, okay, you know half of the thing already, and you have to additionally do one thing, that you have to think that whether they will be able to do the similar for next 2 years, next 3 years, or something like that. So that focus will come automatically if you go deep into your sectors, your area of expertise. So likewise, one should start with where one knows. Like if somebody is running a retail shop, then he should look for DMart or VMart, or many stocks are there where you should start with. So you should open a DMAT account and start reading any annual report, or start observing Infosys or DMAT's performance. So is the
Mhm.
beginning.
Sure, I think that is helpful. And now I'm curious to understand who is your role model in terms of investing. Like, do you have influence of Warren Buffett or likes of Rakesh Junjunwala or anybody else?
Yeah, I have two role models. One you already named. His name is Mr. Warren Buffett. He's one of the richest person living in the world. And the best point is that he's touching 90 years of age, but he's still growing. He's still evolving. So he's a learning machine. So I want to be like him in that aspect, as well as not just the money part, but the ability to learn at that ripe age of 90. He is learning. So that's the two most important parameter learning I have from him. And the second ideal I have is somebody called Parag Parekh. He is no more. He is a very very deep value investor. So he has taught me very important thing, that in investing there is a rule of thumb. You cannot cut something which you have not sown. So you have to get inside. You have to put your hard work, and then the output would be there. So this is the basically rule of farming. You cannot get something which you have not sown. So that's very important to
Mhm.
learn.
Yeah, to be honest and candid with you, I have seen many of my friends who have burned their hands, okay, by investing. And initially, they made huge profits, like say 40 lakh Indian rupees within a calendar year, but they lost everything. And I have a specific case wherein one of my school friends, that guy is repeatedly investing and he's losing money, but still he wants to chase. I don't know what is the magic in that. Likewise, I really wanted to understand from you, did you also come across any toughest investment aspects in terms of where things didn't fall in place as expected?
Yeah, I mean, what you are referring to is a very typical human bias, where you this is called this is called something called loss aversion. So you are trying to avoid your loss. I mean, you are trying to make it up for the loss. So somebody, your friend, in this case. So that is something that is very important to know your biases. So thankfully I don't commit to that kind of loss aversion setup, mental setup, but I have a bias which is called endowment effect. Like if I own a stock, then I expect it to do better. So that is like if you own, for example, metaphorically, if you have a kid, then you will think that he is better than the rest of his classmates. So it's something like that is called endowment effect. So I sometimes face this, that I expect my stocks to do very well in terms of business, in terms of stock price as well. So that leads to kind of disappointment. So what I did to overcome it is like I elongated my time horizon. So I give him more time. I give my stock more time to perform. So that's how I cope up with this bias.
What are your tips for those who want to be successful in investing? Like, and how maybe you can also share certain things that they need to be cautious about. Because by looking at stock market, right, many a times I've seen people who suffered losses because they always think, okay, I can become a millionaire, say in a week, in a month or so, right?
Correct.
Likewise, there are so many misconceptions about it, and also, do you want to bust any myths while sharing best practices?
So I mean, there are just two rules in stock market. One is that never lose money. So that is the most important rule. And second rule is that never forget rule number one. So it is so in short, it boils down to one thing, that never lose money. So capital preservation is the summum bonum of investing. So you have to understand. So if you want to preserve capital, then you will stop making funds the way generally people make that. Okay, I think this will go. I don't know why, but I'm hoping this will go. So keep investing, buying and selling. Like if you have heard Tata Motors and seen a few good cars out there on the street, EV theme is there, then let's buy Tata Motors. That's the short way to lose money in investing. So as we said, that half knowledge is a dangerous thing. So you have to get to the full knowledge. Anything, it's not just investing. Even if you want to run to play violin, then you have to practice hard. So investing is like that only. So I recommend people to focus on what they know, which better than the rest of the people. So it is like if you have an edge in your sector, in your domain, then definitely you will create alpha, I mean excess return than the market return. So you can beat the market, so you will be happy. And stock market is there to help you if you are intelligent. So there is a very famous saying that if you don't know who you are, then stock market is a very expensive place to find it out. So if you don't know yourself, so that's why I said that mental temperament is very important. Because if you are you are person who wants to play lottery more, then stock market is not for you. You will lose money and you'll go bankrupt, and that will be so capital preservation rule number one will never be followed by you. So if you are not made up for that, then you should leave it. I mean, you should respect that I cannot be a good investor if you have this mental tendency to I mean to splurge or to do lottery. But then you should go for mutual fund route. I mean, directly you cannot invest, but you can give money to mutual fund manager. He will invest on behalf of you. So you still have access to power of compounding. So I didn't say that power of compounding is like direct investing, direct stock market investing. You can go through mutual fund route as well. So there are two options for investors.
Yeah, I think we have to do one more episode covering various investment options available in stock market and all. But
Sure.
given, yeah, we will definitely plan that. And here comes my next question. Is there any difference in the way investments happen in India versus US or any other country? How investing is different?
There is one basic difference between US and India. US, I would say, is a developed market, and India is semi-developed, is developing market. So what happens that the information, the in advanced countries and advanced market, the information flow is very fluid. Like if I am a company, let's say I am Infosys, I am listed in US and I'm listed in India, and that is a real case. So Infosys is listed in US as well. So their disclosure requirements are different. So Infosys might have to, I don't know exactly, but Infosys might have to give their monthly sales number, for example, that we did X sales in March, May, April, that wise. So disclosure wise, US market may in US market you get better information, but in Indian market you would say, okay, I'll be happy with the quarterly number, because regulations are not that you have to do XYZ things. And secondly, which is also important to remember, that even though crooks are all around the world, but I'm not saying that we are India is more crooked, but so to say that stock market has given easy access to money to retail people money. So many people have taken advantage of that. So in India you have to be very careful about promoters. In US generally that case is not there. So in India promoters are very aggressive, and they cut corners and they take you for granted. So you have to be sure that when you are investing in a stock, then you should not be taken for a ride by promoters. So that's the second caveat I would like to add.
Mhm. Excellent. Amitabh, now let's talk about your mentorship program for investors. What it is all about, who should enroll, and how are you going to handhold them?
Yeah, so mentorship is something. It's my new latest baby. I mean, my first baby is Sadhan. Basically, I run a YouTube channel where I disseminate whatever I know about investing in a public forum for masses. So I have around 10,000 subscribers. So I thought that how I can add value to their life so that they don't commit mistakes which I did, or they can take cues from how I did. So currently I have around 20 multi-baggers, so to say, where stocks have multiplied more than 100%. So over past 3-4 years, I have this bouquet, a portfolio of stocks which are really good. And so I want to give them an eyes to look at beautiful things in the stock market. So that's why I've started this mentorship program where I am going live with them on Zoom calls, and I would be teaching them every week, every fortnight, that how to look at stocks. So it starts from the foundation, like how to look at balance sheet, how to read annual reports, and then go deeper into, let's say, a company like Infosys is there, then how their quarterly numbers behaves, who are their board of director, and how their decision would change your course as an investor. So going deep into it through webinars, through 20 webinars and 20 recorded videos. So basically, it's more of a interactive session where people can, when mentees can ask me what is, whether he is doing right or she is doing right or wrong. So I can handhold into this deeper domain of investing through this mentorship program.
Excellent. On a lighter note, looks like you have invested a lot on Infosys. You have been talking a
I
lot.
just no, I've not invested. As a disclaimer, I've never invested into Infosys. TCS, I have invested. I still own a little bit of TCS. But
Okay.
IT business is something. As I said, I am an engineer, but not an IT professional. So I am looking at an IT stock, interestingly. So I'm learning. Like Mustech is a company. It's a very interesting company. It's into cloud business,
Yeah.
cloud computing. So something which Infosys is a known story, TCS is a known story, but let's say cloud computing and a migration to SAP, from SAP to Oracle. So these kind of things, actually, where you can gain, being an IT professional, you would appreciate that cloud, how
Yeah.
important this cloud journey is going to be for
Yeah.
any company. So their Mustake is a company which helps them doing it. So that's why I'm bullish on this company. So just to name a few IT stock, I'm not bullish on Infosys for this.
All right. No, I was just kidding. But anyways, yeah, thanks for sharing those details. And this has been fabulous conversation so far. So, Amitabh, let us spice up the episode. I'm going to kick off a quick rapid fire round with your consent.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, what is one word do you hate hearing other than loss?
Actually, I don't hate any words, but it's like I couldn't do it. So it's like self defeat. I hate self defeat, so to say.
Oh,
Accepting loss, I mean, without trying hard.
got it. And what is one best piece of advice that you have received so far?
Best piece of advice I've already given you. One day I was traveling for my business purpose on a flight, and somebody who was working in a Dubai company, he was sitting behind me, and I was using I opened an Excel during the flight, and I was doing some Excel modeling and all. Then he looked at me interestingly, and he said that you look like a decent guy. So I give but you are, what you are doing, even though in a flight time you are utilizing time. That's good. I appreciate it, but you are trading your time for money since you are employed. And so you should start thinking that how you can use this time, even though you don't work, you earn. So that set me into thinking, and then I got it later on that this he's talking about investing into a market. So that set me going deeper into investing. So that's a free advice on the plane that I got. So that's the best I've got.
No, that's a good one. And what is your hidden talent, Amitabh?
Hidden talent is, I mean, maybe I'm good at making video which was hidden. I'm good at metaphor. I mean, good at explaining things in a metaphorical way. So if somebody, it's a deep concept, then I simplify it in a day-to-day thing in a very easy fashion. So using metaphors,
Yeah.
similes.
Yeah, metaphors make a lot of sense actually. That will help people understand things very easily and all. That's a great talent to have. And moving to my next question, have you ever walked out of a movie theater mid show?
I have slept in a movie theater, Amit, so I still remember this movie called Hum Saath Saath Hain. It was that those days we used to have in DT National Chitrahar, so where
Yeah.
it's a continuous song. So It was getting he was getting married and married. There were 7 marriages during the movie, so I slept it. I actually mentally I walked out.
Got it. All right. So, with that, let me fire the last bullet. What is one electronic gadget or technology that you would like to see or invent yourself?
I would like to invent something, a better version of, let's say, Kindle, which is already a good device, but how a reader can benefit from this electronic movement. Kindle is already one leg up, but if I can, and if God willing, I would be like to do something on that side.
Awesome. All right. So, that was great rapid fire. And with that, let's flip back to the mainstream. And before I let you go, one final question for today's conversation. What
Yeah.
will be your biggest one piece of advice to those aspiring to make big in their careers or lives? Anything you can pick.
I mean, just there is a very good story of a boiling frog. If you have to boil a frog, then you cannot just put him in an oven in a hot water. What you have to do is put him in a oven or in a saucepan and put him in a cold water, and then turn the gas on. So it will be. So this is a very negative example, but and that's how the frog doesn't know that he's getting boiled, he or she is getting boiled. So this is called boiling frog experiment. It's a very good behavioral tendency of people that they don't know, they cannot understand the small changes. So I was working with bank, naming this employer. So that's why I've heard of this boiling frog experiment, and I realized that many of the jobs which we keep doing just for the heck of it because we get a salary, so we don't know that we are getting boiled. We are a frog in this corporate world. So if you don't want to get boiled, then you should get out of this oven. And, that's the advice for everybody, that find yourself. So just one should understand that where they are in their life journey. So knowing, reaching a destination doesn't make sense if you don't know which direction you are going. So you will reach the destination only when you understand that okay, what is happening around me. So mindfulness is very important. So I practice yoga and meditation. So I want the whole world to meditate for half an hour at least, so that he get to know what is happening around himself or herself, so that he can make a better decision and henceforth a better world for everybody.
Simply amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for that wonderful tip. And also, thank you for being part of the Guiding Voice journey. I really appreciate your time and insights. It was wonderful talking to you, Amitabh.
Well, it was my pleasure. I mean, thanks for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. I wish you all the success on this channel so that many people get guided from your effort, because you are doing it selflessly, and this will reflect someday. Definitely. Wish you all the best.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for the kind words. All right. So, folks, before we move into the trivia section, here is a small request to you. In case if you haven't subscribed to us, please subscribe from the app where you have tuned in from. Also, if you have loved this conversation and found the episode useful, request you to share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues who can benefit from the guiding voice. Thank you so much in advance. And now let's cruise into the trivia segment. So today's trivia is about bull and bear. Those are the two animals which actually rule the stock market in a way. We refer to stock market as a bull and the bear market, right? So let us understand the background in terms of why it is called as a bull and the bear market. So depending on primarily two states of the stock market, it is referred to as bull and the bear market. When the market is doing well with appreciating stock market prices, it is called as a bull market. And the significance of this reference is that the horns of the bull are upward in the direction of the sky, equivalent to raising prices of the stocks. And if on the contrary, the stock market is referred to as a bear market when the market is negative with falling stock prices. And the falling prices are compared to the palms of the bear, which are facing the ground while tackling the bull. Interesting, isn't it? That's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me. But before I let you go, friends, if you have any topic recommendations or some guest speaker suggestions, please reach out to me through social media or email me at theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com. This is your host Navin Samala, just a fellow IT professional and a passionate learner on a mission to make a difference in the careers and lives of millions across the globe. Until next time, bye bye.